part of the volatility comes from the fact that I think that the resource sector will do better than other sectors in the economy. There will be bullish forces that will give you upside volatility. On the other hand, the broad economy, the political economy, the broad stock market, I think are in very, very, very difficult times. You know, people talk about asystematic events, black swans. If you were at this conference yesterday, you saw so many potential black swans that they resembled a flock. What could go wrong? Well, what couldn't go wrong? There were a whole set of circumstances that are suggested to have been responsible for the 2007, 2008, 2009 liquidity crisis that we experienced. And I personally don't see how any of them were addressed. As an example, Greece has a difficult time making payments on debt at 150% of GDP. Does anybody believe that increasing Greece's aggregate debt from 150% of GDP to 165% of GDP is going to solve the problem? And that's just Greece. So that's the nature of volatility. On the one side, you have extremely dangerous sets of asystematic events, credit contractions, illiquidity, and on the other side, you have an incredible base of support for natural resource-based businesses. And think of it as two enormous weather systems. When these enormous weather systems collide, what happens? There's lots of turbulence and lots of volatility. And I would suggest to you that the most important thing that you can do for your portfolios for the next 2 or 3 years is, first of all, remember the thesis that on the supply and demand side, resources are going to be more and more and more valuable. But in the context of that, the financial market, the pricing associated with the equities of companies that control or are looking for natural resources are going to vary, and vary in extraordinary degree as a consequence of volatility. If you are the type of person who, when a stock goes from $1 to $2 for no reason, thinks that's good and buys more, this is the equivalent of a $60,000 Lexus that you're now buying for $120,000, you will not do well in this market. If you are a person who understands that he or she must use volatility and would rather pay $40,000 for the Lexus than $60,000 for the Lexus, as a consequence of volatility, you will do well.